So today I'll be sharing what I primarily use for Crime Spree. It's something that I've been using to get to at least rank 1000, so I can assure you that it'll be useful for most situations and most maps that you'll do in Crime Spree. So for this skill setup, I've picked up a little bit of everything. Inspire, decent drills, shoddy stuff, crits, dodge, what have you. I'll just go down the line and I'll show you what I have. In Mastermind, I have Combat Medic Basic, Painkillers, Combat Doctor, and Inspire Aced. Inspire needs no introduction. Forced Friendship and Joker Basic, and Partners in Crime Aced. For one good Joker, I have one good Joker, still pretty handy to have. Shotgun Skills, Underdog Basic, Shotgun CQB, Shotgun Impact, Close By Aced, and Overkill Basic. Now, usually I don't pick up Close By, but today I will be focusing on using a shotgun that actually benefits from having a larger magazine. So I will have that. And I'm also using X-Prez, so I kind of need to have Bullseye. If you don't know why, I'll explain more later. Resilience, Transporter, and Bullseye Basic. Good Drills and Technician, Hardware Expert Basic, and Drill Sergeant Aced. I mostly just focus on Drill Sergeant, like I like getting rid of the time. For auto restart and stuff like that, if I really wanted it, I could go for it, but that's a lot of points to invest, and minimal benefit, I think. Steady Grip, because I had an extra point, why not? A little bit of accuracy. The Crits and Dodge, Duck and Cover, Parkour, Inner Pockets Aced, and Sneaky Bastard Basic. Second Wind Aced and Low Blow Basic. And a Fugitive, 9 Lives Aced, and Swan Song Aced. Now, one thing I want to say about this build. Other than playing solo, Crime Spree is one of the few instances where I'd consider speccing into more self-preservation skills, because you can't really afford to fail, so that's this tree right here. So what you could do, or what I would do, is I would get rid of Inspire, gasp, and just get that, and there we go. Messiah will help you revive yourself if you get a kill while you're down. Since failure is not really an option for Crime Spree, having a backup plan like this isn't a terrible idea. You could roll it like this, but for me, I still spec Inspire because helping out the team, and not just yourself, is a lot more helpful in the long run, at least in my opinion. I briefly mentioned this earlier. For my perk deck, I'm going to be using Ex-President. It's a unique perk deck that gives a little bit of dodge and health regeneration. For the dodge in a suit, I will be getting 25 if you use Sneaky Bastard, which I do have on right now. You will get a total of 30 dodge. And for the health regeneration, this is based off of enemies killed, and you get health back when you break your armor and begin regenerating it. For my primary today, I'm going to be using the Yzma 12-gauge shotgun, or as I like to call it, the Saiga. This thing is modded with Triple Aught Buck, Short Barrel, Silent Killer Suppressor, Concealment Boost, Auto Fire, Hollow Handle, Compact Laser Module, AK Rubber Grip, and the Skeletal Stock. For my secondary, I'm using the Bronco 44 Revolver with Concealment Boost, the 3+, not the 1+, Ergo Wooden Grip, Pocket Surprise Barrel, and the Slimline Body. For the rest of the setup, I've got the usual Electrical Brass Knuckles, Doll Grenade, Medic Bag, and 2-piece suit. So the build isn't too terribly unique, but it's got a few things I think are pretty important when you want to do Crime Spree. For the most part, it won't feel anything like One Down, since the only real dangers of Crime Spree are the specials you encounter. Zeal Snipers, Winter Shield, the assorted bulldozers like Medic Dozer, Minigun Dozer. In One Down, the main danger is just being overwhelmed by everything and the fact that even the weak units do the most damage. In fact, short of snipers, specials aren't really all that scary on One Down, at least to me. In Crime Spree though, regular units, they won't be doing absurd amounts of damage, so most of the time, you'll just be dying to the specials. I think for the most part, people won't be hitting unreasonably difficult enemies since, generally, I don't think you even really want to be getting that high of rank. That's just for gloating purposes. For using Crime Spree as a tool to get Continental coins or for leveling up, which, most people probably do, you only really need to hit a few hundred rank to make it worthwhile. Maybe like 300 or 400 in a row. It really shouldn't be too difficult in that kind of rank, but, some people may have trouble getting there, so I thought I'd share my thoughts. In the skill build, I combine Inspire and Swan Song, basically the best skills that help avoid instantly failing a spree, Going down unexpectedly happens quite often when you pick up more dangerous modifiers, so that's just something you and your team have to compensate for. The best skills for that being an instant revive for teammates and a skill that prolongs your death, so you can either help others up or fix drills, do a whole lot of stuff. I ran with crits and dodge with a focus on shotgun weapons. For my perk deck, I'm using Ex-President paired with the skill Bullseye, which gives you some of the fastest health regen of the game. As I talked about it in previous vids, and for those of you that maybe are not aware, what the perk deck Ex-President does is it stores backup health when you or your team kills enemies, which is then given to you when you break your armor and start regenerating it. Of course, the main danger is you have to wait for your armor to actually regenerate before you're given the health, meaning you're an easy target in the meantime. With Bullseye, the skill Enforcer to forcibly regenerate armor when you get headshots, you can instantly regain all of your health if you manage to proc the Bullseye skill. This makes Bullseye and Ex-President an incredibly powerful combo for lower difficulties. Now, the main problem with this setup is that it doesn't really work well on one down, since basically, when you're on one down, you're going to lose all your health at once with one shot. They just do too much damage, so regaining chunks of health at a time with Ex-Prez is not a super reliable survivability method. However, on Death Wish and Crime Spree, even at rank 1000, this combo still works incredibly well, and I'd recommend giving that a go. I also picked up just a little bit of Joker skills, enough to have one really nice Joker. Having a Joker alive at all times gives me extra health and speed, and I've got a meat bag running around that takes aggro and bullets for me, so that's always nice as well. Now, for the weapons, they're fairly straightforward. You guys know, I love my shotguns and I love my pistols. The revolver for long range, the shotgun for everything else. I originally used the Street Sweeper as my main weapon, but once you get further down in Crime Spree, trying to kill things like Winter Shields, it takes a lot of shots, so I spent a whole lot of time reloading, and, well, so much so that I decided to make the switch to the Yzma with a Saiga. And with the skill setup I have, it works extremely well. A large magazine with the skills, crits for a lot of power, and decent concealment in case you're like me and you like to attempt stealth for the majority of the stealthable missions. It's also got amazing ammo pickup, so you're pretty much never going to have to rely on ammo bags, unlike if you're to run the Judge or something else. The gameplay here should speak for itself when talking about the weapons. Now, like I said before, this build works up to this rank, but I don't know if it'll be optimal for trying to get higher ranks. You know, at some point it becomes impossible to play loud since you'll just die instantly, and you're better off just ECM cheesing everything for a high rank. This setup was made for a relatively high rank, but a contained rank. You know, we're not talking something way in the thousands. People with that high of rank already probably know what to do themselves, or they're cheaters, one way or the other. As for Crime Spree itself, I don't really have too much to say. You know, starting off, it's really easy since it's only on overkill difficulty. The main problem is, you know, when you start to get too careless, and because you think it's easy, and then you start getting a few ranks, and you start getting a few modifiers that are actually kind of dangerous. I feel like that's the main downfall of a lot of sprees. Either that, or you just crash a whole lot, like me. But the only real advice I can give about Crime Spree is, one, avoid taking Zeal Snipers and Winter Shield modifiers as long as you can. Like, literally take everything else. Those are by far the worst modifiers to have. The Sniper, the Zeal Sniper, they can basically kill anyone on your team instantly, and there's really no easy way of spawning them, since, you know, they don't use a laser and they hide within the spawns of normal cops. With Winter Shields, they're obnoxiously large, and they have crazy amounts of health, even more so than like tasers or cloakers. Not only that, but they spawn in large numbers, so they're often grouped up together. So trying to get around to kill them gets pretty difficult, since they'll bash you left and right, and their melee hurts a lot. Maybe even more than the regular enemies, I'm not really sure, but they're just incredibly annoying to fight, that much I know. Pick those two last. As a dodge user, the most annoying thing you have to watch out for in Crime Spree are the Winter Shields, the Zeal Snipers, I guess the Dozers too, like the minigun Dozer, and to a lesser extent, the FBI Shotgunners. Those guys can actually kill you pretty easily as well, if you get a little too careless. Overall, I'd say a lot of things should be pretty common sense, you know. In Crime Spree, always focus on killing the medics first and foremost before anything else. They get a lot of helpful modifiers, so leaving them alive is the worst thing to be doing. I think another thing worth mentioning is that Crime Spree makes it a point to make some weapons weaker as you go on. I'd say explosives fit that category. I'm under the impression that explosive weapons, they're pretty meta right now, since they're really strong and they take zero aim to use. But with super fast medic healing and their AoE healing on death, I don't really find them too useful. Rocket launchers are probably still, you know, pretty good in the high ranks, but just like using them on any other difficulty, I don't really like them since they have a good chance of wiping out your own team as well. In any case, as with anything, the main factor here is just knowing what to do. What to bring for certain missions, how you can make your life easier by playing some missions a certain way. Most of all, just play a lot so you're experienced and you know what to do. But that's really all I got to say. This was my setup that I primarily use for Crime Spree, and I hope you guys enjoyed.